So, at the start of the movie, we are shown a family. They came to the Caribbean Sea to celebrate their son Ben's birthday. Everything was going perfectly normal. Julian, i.e. Ben's mother, jumps into the sea to swim while Ben and his dad Tom were busy fishing. Suddenly, Julian felt like something big was spinning around him while swimming. When he stopped and looked, the sea was completely normal. But then someone suddenly pulled him into the sea. At the same time, he was given a warning sign on the instrument of the yacht. But Ben and Tom didn't pay attention to him because they were fishing. Drowning Julian, along with trying to save himself, calls out to Tom many times. But no one pays attention to him. Now Julian felt like the water was going backwards. Now fortunately, Tom also noticed Julian coming away from the yacht and immediately jumped into the water to save him. Ben also brought him close to them while turning on the engine of the yacht. Where Tom saved Julian from drowning, Ben and Cassie then pulled them up to the yacht and then went somewhere to save Julian's life. Coming back safely on the yacht, Tom gets angry once. Where was your attention when you said that whoever goes for swimming, someone will pay attention to him? Then why didn't you pay attention? If your mom had died, Cassie would have drowned herself. After apologizing to her, they try to forget this incident and celebrate Ben's birthday at night. At this time, when Cassie's boyfriend called, she noticed that there was a very bad storm in the city. Seeing this, she was worried for a minute, because he was not in a safe place at this time. She goes and tells this to her mom and dad. And now they all decide to check the safety barriers. While doing this, they noticed that whales and sharks were shaking their yacht. And according to Tom, whales or sharks do this before a storm comes, because they couldn't guess the waves then. Now they had an idea of the upcoming storm. They had to face it, but before that they had to face these sharks. During their conversation, their yacht suddenly gets a strong shock. To check it, Tom went into the water. He saw that there was a very severe dent on the yacht, which was definitely caused by a shark. After checking this, when Tom came back to his yacht, he was badly injured. Julian stitches his wounds. And here Tom gives them all the bad news that because of the shark's dent, they will not be able to move forward. They had the safe option to call someone for help. And the signals were also switched off. Even the radio of the yacht was not picking up any signal. In this difficult condition, Tom starts checking his food and drink. He only had water to drink for 4 days and nothing else. But Tom was satisfied that he was on a shipping route. Ships often enter from here. Someone will see them. During their conversation, they suddenly hear a loud noise from outside. When they went outside and saw, a meteoroid was about to hit the ground. Tom quickly turns on his yacht's engine to save himself. Although he knew that if he did this, his ship would be destroyed. And just like that, the yacht's engine was destroyed. And from far away, another meteoroid also started heading towards them. They couldn't do anything else to save themselves. So they quickly went to the lower part of the yacht. And they also wore life jackets. After that, they heard a loud noise. And they all fainted. When they came to their senses, they were all alive. Although they were injured, they were surprised. The surprising thing was that even though there was a big hole in their boat, there was no water in their boat. When Tom and Ben went outside and saw, their boat had reached a rocky area. This place had completely changed. Where there was water, there were only mountains of mud. Tom quickly took out his compass and started looking at the direction. Then he found out that something had gone wrong with the ground. All the poles on the ground had changed. On the north pole of the ground, there was a south pole. And on the south pole, there was a north pole. And just like that, where there was a lake, all the water of the sea had shifted there. And now, instead of the sea, there was a lake. And as soon as they realized this, they were all shocked. Another heart-touching thing that Tom said was that in the entire process, humanity, i.e. humans, must have died. Jessica was so shocked by all this news that she lost her senses. She now locks herself in a cabin and doesn't talk to anyone. Now Julian starts collecting his leftover food, while Ben flies a lot of his birthday balloons in the air, that if a person is alive somewhere, he will come to their help. While Tom now tries to talk to someone through the radio. He tries to contact someone. He was expecting that no response would come, but surprisingly, he got a response. And this response was given by a captain who was in a small submarine at the time. And he also knew the story of how the sea shifted, because he was also in the submarine like Tom's family. That's why he survived this accident. Captain now tells Tom that the poles of the earth have changed. They will come back to their place after about a week. Such a sea will also come back to its place. And at that time, its waves will be very dangerous. That's why the captain advises Tom to find a shady place and go there. There are more chances of your survival there. Hearing this, Julian immediately asks his children to pack, while Tim requests the captain that there are more chances of survival in your submarine. Can you keep our children? Then the captain tells him that he wants to do this, but he can't do it, because his submarine is very small. He has been killed here at the same time. And like this, only one person's place is in his submarine. Tom begs the captain to adjust both the children. Instead of this, I will do whatever help you want from me. The captain agreed to it. Tom now guesses the location of the submarine and tells Julian that they will be there in just 2 days. That is, before the waves of the sea come back, these people will send their children safely to the submarine. After which their life will be saved. The next morning, the whole family was now ready for their journey. That's when Tom saw a strange man walking with his dog from a distance. Tom noticed that the man was injured, so Tom should help him. He gave him water. As soon as the man drank that water, instead of thanking Tom, he attacked him. And this thing was seen by Julian standing far away. That man had stabbed the dagger in his hand into Tom's hand and killed him. She couldn't save her husband. To save her children, she immediately went inside the yacht. And telling them about the danger, she hid them in the cabin. And then gave Cassie a flare gun. And told her to fire it only when she needed it the most. He was just saying that the killer reached the door of his room inside the yacht. To save him, Julian himself goes to a washroom and goes here and hugs his wounds. Meanwhile, he starts examining the clear yacht. And as soon as he gets something to eat, he started eating it quickly. It was clear that he was hungry for many days. After eating, when the killer went behind him to kill Julian, he saw that the cabin was empty from where the noise was coming from. Actually, Julian had run away from the hole in the boat. But his bad luck was that he was seen by the killer's dog, which starts barking at him. And to get him quiet, Julian kills him and hides himself under the boat. Actually, the killer didn't find him. But when the killer saw his dog far away, he understood that Julian was out of the boat. Now as soon as the killer got off the boat to catch him, Julian came into the boat by making his way through another broken glass from the other side of the boat. But his bad luck was that he was caught by the killer in a little while. The killer grabs him by the arms and tortures him a lot. He starts strangling him. But Julian starts fighting with him to save himself. Cassie, who was watching all this from the cabin, she thought this was the right time to use the flare gun. She fired the flare gun here, which didn't hurt that man much. But his yacht started burning. Now to save himself, Julian quickly took his two children and left the yacht. As soon as they left the yacht, the killer attacked Julian again. But this time, Julian pushed him back with his legs and freed himself. As soon as he went out, Cassie and Ben started crying seeing his dad's dead body. He didn't think about all this that had happened to him. Ben thought it was all his fault. He wouldn't have left the colorful balloons there, and neither would this man have come here seeing him. Now Julian was also crying near her husband. That's when she saw that the killer had come out of the burning yacht. It was stupid to stay here. She took her children and ran away from here. As they ran away, they were very tired. They now stopped behind a hill to rest. She didn't think that the killer would have left them behind. Here too, Ben was just crying. Cassie gives him a little water to cheer him up. But Ben had already refused to drink this water. Now they were talking about all this. And Julia saw that the killer was still behind them. The three of them quickly ran ahead to escape the killer. As they ran, they were tired. But whenever they looked back, the killer was behind them. They don't stop to escape the killer. And while running, they reach a place where poisonous water was present. Anything could have happened to them here. But Julian gives his children a warning to move on from here. As soon as they left here, Ben's condition worsened. And Julian realized that Ben was dehydrated. He had the last drop of water that he had given to Ben. But nothing was going to happen with so little water. At this point, Cassie completely gives up. She didn't believe that they would be alive or not. She had already accepted her death. She tells them to accept it. But Julian tells her to do as I say. We will move on. And I know that I will save you. As Julian said, Cassie and Ben started walking again. And a little further away, they saw a plane, which must have crashed into the sea years ago. These people hide in that plane. And Julian sees his family photo here for the last time, which he took last night. Looking at this photo, everyone was remembering Tom. It was quite late at night. These people were also tired. Cassie and Ben went to sleep. And Julian got up in anxiety and came out of this plane, where he saw that even in this darkness of the night, the killer had not stopped following him. The killer had also seen him. Here Julian acts to sleep. And as soon as the killer comes close to him, Julian immediately gets up and attacks him. And kills him by stabbing him like this. After all, this danger was removed from his head. Julian also fell asleep peacefully. And in the morning when these people woke up, they saw that the killer's body was in very bad condition. And this made them realize that this entire sea is also very dangerous. Anyway, now they had to go to the submarine where the captain was. By the time Julian was looking at the map, Ben was very thirsty to come and read. He goes and starts drinking water in the nearby pond. Although Julian had told him not to drink water from here, this was a poisonous pond. But Ben was so thirsty that he did not hear a single word. And forcefully Julian had to hold his head and pull it out. Because of drinking this water, Ben was sick. Now Julian and Cassie make a shelter for him, where they had just rested for a while. Suddenly Julian started hearing strange noises. When he went out and saw a lot of crabs were heading towards him. To escape from them, they started running, and far away they saw a very big ship. This was a cargo ship. There were a lot of containers in it. Some people were hiding in these containers. Seeing these three, all those people go into a container and lock it. And Julian keeps knocking on the door to ask for help. A big storm of crabs was now behind them. To escape from them, Ben and Cassie climbed on top of the container, and Julian also started climbing up. But by then a crab had bitten him. But Julian came up by removing it. He tied his injured leg with his scarf. And then fainted. Ben and Cassie saw that those crabs were cutting that container and went inside it. And those crabs attacked the people there badly. Although the people who had weapons, they tried to kill those crabs with weapons. But no matter how many crabs they killed. Anyway, it was morning and Julian regained consciousness. He saw that both his children were not here. He got scared badly because it was such a dangerous place that anyone could die. Julian started crying out of fear of losing them. But then he saw Cassie and Ben coming from a distance, who actually went in search of food and weapons. And now the crabs were not visible from here. Because they had shifted forward from here. Seeing them, Julian's life comes to life. Julian now takes care of his wounds cut by the crab, while Ben starts looking at his collected weapons. Now Julian contacts the captain through his radio, who tells him that the creatures of the sea have attacked him too. He is very injured and he can't help them anymore. He also told Julian that the sea will soon return to its place. That's why all these creatures have come back. Now he didn't even know which direction he had to go to reach that submarine, because his map was also lost in all this madness. That's why the captain now shoots with a flare gun in the air. And Ben sees that direction. These people now quickly move towards the submarine. Now they saw a small yellow submarine far away. But now it seemed impossible to reach it. Because to reach the submarine, they had to pass over the toxic waste, from where they could get sick while passing. Now Cassie started talking nonsense about Julian. That he did not save his children. They argue here and Julian scolds Cassie. Now Cassie tells them to move forward. While walking, their fate leaves them with another man. And there is a sliding in the middle of these mountains, because of which Julian, who was at the back, fell in front of him and fell on a very big stone. And she got stuck there. Cassie didn't want to move forward without him. But then Julian swore to her that you will save your brother at any cost. Cassie moves forward with her brother. And when these people reach the submarine, they don't find anyone there. They started knocking on the door of the submarine badly. But then the captain came out from behind, who was badly injured. The captain told them that now there are no chances of his survival, and 3 people can sit in the submarine. As soon as she heard this, Cassie turned back to the back, where her mom was stuck. At this time, Julian was hitting the crabs coming close to her with a gun dot, and her bullets were almost over. Before any other crab attacked her, Cassie comes to him and shakes his hand. With the help of that, Julian finally managed to get out of there. And they both came back to the submarine while running. These people sat inside the submarine without wasting time. While putting on their belts, they saw a very big wave of the sea in front of them. As soon as they collided with their submarine, they fainted. When Julian came to his senses, his submarine was not in the water. That big wave of the sea pulled his submarine and brought it to a ruined city. The condition that she was telling was that no one would have been alive here except her. And that's how the story ended here.